Kill is the most mundanely titled film that came out this July 4th weekend, but it might also be the best film that came out this past weekend. And the deceptively simple plot reads, during a train trip to New Delhi, a pair of commandos face an army of invading bandits. I say deceptive because I found that this movie had a lot more going on than just the action sequences, particularly in how it's all structured. But before we go any further in the video, I do want to give a special thank you to the sponsor, BetterHelp. A lot of us lead very hectic lives. It always feels like something is happening, whether we're parents, we're in school, it's our jobs. It always feels like something's going on, and it's difficult sometimes to find time to breathe, which is why it's been so wonderful for me to be able to turn to something like BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, which is betterhelp.com/Chris Stuckmann. You can answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. And you can do it all from your phone or computer via a phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. And you'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. So let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Please visit betterhelp.com/Chris Stuckmann or choose my channel name, Chris Stuckmann, during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Once again, that link is betterhelp.com/Chris Stuckmann and is in the description below. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. I had heard really good things about Kill out of festivals, and now that it's out, I went to a theater and saw it. There was only 2 other people in the theater with me. I wish there were more people, because this is definitely the type of movie that a crowd will engage with. It's extremely violent and very bloody, but it doesn't start that way. Again, I'll use the word deceptive because the movie begins almost like a rom-com. It feels light as a feather. Everything is super happy. People are excited about their future. A very purposefully over-the-top musical sting plays when we meet our hero. And this movie is trying to sort of make you feel like you know where it's going and you understand the way these movies work. And in so many ways, the movie is probably what you think it's going to be. A lot of really violent action on a train. You're going to hear all kinds of comparisons to other movies you've seen before when people talk about it. But without getting into any spoilers, what I found so unique about the movie is that it takes all of those feelings that we're accustomed to having when we experience an action movie like this, and at one point in the film, it just says, that's not the kind of movie you're going to get. You're going to get the action you expect, but this movie is also capable of being very bleak, and it knows the way to maximize that impact is to make you feel like you know the type of movie you're watching in the earlier moments. About that action, though, it's relentless. These 2 commandos are the most badass of badasses that ever existed, and it's hyper-violent. When this man is crossed in the wrong way, he becomes Terminator. These bandits who came onto this train to simply rob a bunch of passengers had no idea they were going to discover, essentially, a couple T-1000s who are on this train as well. And what excited me the most as an action fan is that the first few fights felt really good to me, and I thought, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to top this. This is pretty effective. But it just keeps building. It gets more intense, longer, more violent. And what I also loved about it is that this movie doesn't do the thing that so many action movies have been trying to do lately, where everyone's obsessed with doing something in one take. Everyone always talks about how cool one takes are, but in action films it can be really tough to pull off a very effective one take because the hyperactivity of the fight scene can be increased exponentially by cuts. Sometimes it's a really bad thing. We experienced that in the mid-2000s all the way into the mid-2010s, where Hollywood had no idea how to edit a fight scene. But if you look at the best stuff out of the Jackie Chan movies of the 80s and early 90s, it has just the right amount of cuts and angle changes to accentuate when somebody's getting their ass kicked. One of the most effective elements of the movie, though, is that we're with the villains a lot. And most of them are family or friends. They're all very close. And as soon as they realize that they have awoken a beast on this train who is extremely mad at them, you get to see how terrified they become. They realize the mistakes they've made, and you really get to live in that fear. One of these guys eventually decides to find ways to absolutely terrify his opponents by setting up haunted houses of dead bodies and various cars that these villains have to walk through. And this whole time you can see on their faces that they think they're going to be one of these dead bodies very soon. So it's not just the way that our hero kicks the shit out of everybody that's so awesome, he also intimidates them psychologically. It's no surprise at all that the company behind the John Wick movies has already licensed this movie to do a remake. It's only been out for a few days in American cinemas, and here we are. As you know, remakes have a history of having a hard time being as good as the original. Doesn't mean it can't be. This is a very effective, simple, deceptively, as I said, premise that could definitely be done in its own way, but I'd be very curious to see how they handle some of the storyline regarding the hero and his girlfriend. As an action movie, this gave me everything I wanted and expected, but it was also very surprising how it was constructed, so definitely don't miss this one in theaters, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.